What is up, everyone? I am here with a Lufia 2 all chess playthrough. We're going to be doing this on retry mode because we're also going to be doing getting to level 99 and defeating the egg dragon multiple times. So here we go. Alright, so this is Tia, our childhood friend, and we are Maxim, who is a monster hunter. Things about this game. This is a Super Nintendo JRPG. I think it's a very underrated one. Not a lot of people know about it. This is one of my all-time favorites that I used to play as a kid. There's a few things that we'll get later that we can't look at now. Let me turn this down a little bit. Sound. There we go. Like capsule, but status. We have attack power, defensive power, strength, agility, intelligence, gut, and MGR. So your MGR is like your magic defense in this. Strength helps boost attack power and defensive power, and you get different party members later on will have a lot of different weapons and spells and stuff. Right now we have no spells, very few items as we just start off. Alright, so this guy wants us to go. Now in retry mode, what we're going to be doing is, this is the tutorial by the way. This is the very basic way monsters move. You can swing a sword with the B button. We haven't gotten this ability yet, it's arrow ability. If you hit select, you'll see we get more as the game goes on. But anyway, what I was going to say was, in retry mode, we're going to pretty much be fighting everything. We're going to get over leveled pretty quickly. Retry mode multiplies your experience and gil or gold by 4. So this is what skill does, at least this is what the arrow one does. You could paralyze enemies and then walk by if you wanted to. But again, like I said, we're going to gain some levels, we're going to fight. And we could also use arrows for stuff like this to hit switches. So if we hold the A button, you can move objects that are movable in the game. We also get what's a reset spell as a skill, and that sounds just like what it, or that is just what it sounds like. We will get be able to reset the room. So if there's monsters in the room, it resets that as well as any puzzles if we may mess them up. And these arrows you can jump off of for cliffs. This teaches us how to swing our sword, and we can cut grass. And sometimes there are things under the grass that we need to find, like buttons or holes to fall into. And this is trying to teach you that if you stand still and hold the R button, R1 button, you can stay in place. And that is helpful at some different points in the game where you need to just turn as you have an item in your hand. Alright, so what this category is, and it's called all chests because that's what you get in the game. It's all the chests. Eventually you get an item which we'll get that will help us. It's called the Jewel Sonar. And what it does is you can go into the item menu when you're in a dungeon, and if you double click on it, it will make a chime, and then it will chime one time for each chest that's in that dungeon that you haven't opened yet. And the reason we need this is because we will be going and getting the dragon eggs, which we'll show much later in the game, and you end up fighting the toughest boss in the game, which is called the egg dragon. And after you collect the eggs 4 times, you then can fight him. But he every time you collect the eggs, he gives you a reward to choose from. The rewards are okay, but you have to keep going and finding the eggs again, which will be put into any chests that have been opened at random. And after you recollect them, you go back to the dragon. Again, repeat this process. He'll give you a reward and send the eggs back out into the world. After the last time, you have to defeat him, or you get a chance to fight him, and he's very tough. So it's a nice kind of fight at the end of the game, or close to the end of the game, as like a challenge. It's one of the game's big challenges. As well as getting all the chests. I like to get all the spells for everyone. I like to get everyone to level 99. I'll be getting all our capsule monsters to level 99 as well, and all their final forms too. so let's go buy some items that'll help us very much in this upcoming dungeon. That should be fine. There is also a magic shop, which we'll come back to later to get some spells. Strong is a heal spell. There's different upgraded versions of it. Spark is a fire spell, and as you can see on Strong, where Maxim is standing upright, which means he can equip that spell. When a party member is down like that on a knee, it means they are unable to. And the same goes with weapons and as well. Alright. Let's just save, since we'll start a new save here. And in this game, you save at a church. Was this one? Yeah. Okay. That was my last recharge playthrough. Like I said, this game I think is very underrated. A lot of people don't actually know about it. You know, I love Final Fantasy games, but I think Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger had it, the Super Nintendo. Where everyone knew those games, but you had games like this, games like Breath of Fire that I think got a little overshadowed by those other games, and they were very, very, very well done. So like I said, we're going to be fighting everything. We can pretty much one-shot, and because of it being in retry mode, we get a lot of experience. So leveling up now is just much, much easier. I will talk about different things. This is one of those times we need to be able to turn and treasure. So one way to do this category is you purposely only get chests you'll need, so that way later on in the game, or you only open chests you need to open at the time, because that way later on in the game you don't have to really go searching too much for the dragon eggs, because you kind of, you know, map it out where they can't go into treasure chests that aren't opened. So that makes the randomness, or it takes a lot of the randomness away. The item we just picked up was a life potion, and that permanently raises one's HP. Escapes are really nice to get out of dungeons. So now I'm up to, my max went up to 6. It's there's ones for all the attributes, your HP and your MP, and it's a random number. So that one 6 was really good. It could be as low as I think 2 or 3. Now we're one-shotting these already, and we have just the basic weapon. We're already up to 352 gold, so that's really good, since we're going to be using a lot of gold to level things up later. I always forget which way to go first. I think it's this way. Patzer, new enemy. Choose a boomerang. That should kill them both. Yeah. And like I said, a power potion. So strength plus 3. Alright, so we want to get rid of these bats. I could go back the other way. That's fine. Yeah, I can't go the other way yet. Okay. Lost my way for a second. Okay. I'm just gonna use a potion just in case. That was a little sketchy. Yep, that one could have been a 3. That would have been the end of it really quick. Alright. There we go. So there's a lot of secret passages around too, in different dungeons. So hide armor raises plus 3. There's also if you look and you go to status where it says IP 100%. As you take damage, you gain what's called an IP percent, and certain weapons, armor, helmets, any equipment, there's also rings and jewels, have IP attacks, and different attacks cost a different percentage of IP and do different things. We'll get more into that as when that comes. But it is some of the attacks are extremely important in upcoming fights. These are healing tiles. There are a lot of times they're in dungeons before the bosses, and it heals us up all the way. We'll save. I'm gonna put message speed fast. Okay. So I'm not going to read through everything. I'll give you the gist, but I will go slow enough so that when watching this, you can kind of be able to pause or slow it down as need be. So this is why we bought the boomerangs. This guy hits pretty good, especially like I said in retry mode. You're probably around level 4, maybe 5, unless you do some grinding. And now is where we kind of find out what's going on. Alright, so the gist of it is there's an almighty power at hand that we are destined to go fight and save the world from. I don't want to spoil too much this early, so we will just continue playing to see who that actually is. So as you can see now already in this cave, I've leveled up enough with barely just the new armor that adds 3 extra additional defense points that these weak monsters are just missing already with their attacks. Alright, now we got the door key. So we find out that there's I don't need any of these yet. And some items. Alright, so here's where we actually can talk to this knight. He teaches about IP. And I'll show you the very first one. So battle knife. Use this in battle, but if you click the X button, you can see that it has an IP. And this is Thunder Blast, and it's a 1.5 times more damage than normal attack, and it's effective against enemies that are vulnerable to thunder. So their enemies have a lot of weaknesses in this game, or there's a lot of different weaknesses in this game. And there's a lot of weapons. So this one is a flame attack, similar to the thunder attack, but for vulnerable to fire. And armor also has different things too. So like this healing partially restores HP, reduces enemy speed. That's a really good one. Coming up for later, lowers enemies' intelligence. So if you have some magic users, that's a big, really good one too. We're not gonna get anything. I have the hide armor already. I could buy a simple cap, but that's fine. So in some cases, as you can see, the dagger is actually much stronger. It has 14 attack compared to the rapier or the battle knife. But the battle knife with its IP is actually much more effective against an upcoming boss. So I'm gonna equip that instead, and we're gonna buy some more boomerangs. That should be good. I'm gonna buy a couple antidotes just to have them. Some more potions, and that should be enough for now. Warps are good as well as escapes. Warps, what they do, eventually you get a spell that does the same thing, but it warps you to any place you have already visited, so any of the towns. So right now it's only the one town we started at. And escapes are good as they do what they sound like, and you can escape from dungeons or labyrinths when you're at the end, because most dungeons you have to walk all the way back out from after you defeat the boss. Yep. I'm gonna buy these spells for Maxim now, I guess. I have the money. I'll buy strong. Sure, that should be good enough. Alright, so we are going to go find out what the heck that was about. Go talk to this person. so basically, like, Maxim just is a very helpful guy. We have these shops that are tea shops. Alright, so we have some puzzles to do in here. We have to hit the switch, the water rises, and we use these to make our own bridge. Again, we will be fighting. We have much more difficult enemies right now. And the thing with retry mode, again, with not only getting a lot of experience and gold, so each boomerang costs, I think it's 20 gold. One battle where I use one gets 144 back. So this is a puzzle room. This is a healing tile and magic tile. So this puzzle room is, we have to remember which enemies we fight first. So I won't use a boomerang on one eagle, but two would be good. Enemies drop items, so you can actually keep resetting this this room and fighting this eagle enemy and get an eagle jewel eventually for if they drop one, which actually is a really good jewel this early in the game. Alright, so we did the eagle first. So we did eagle, beetle, and frog. And that's how you get through this puzzle. We go down here. And we get the insect crush. Now, the insect crush is a really cool weapon for right here, as it does. Not only does it do a bomb attack, but it does more damage to insects and spiders, as those are bug types. So if you saw, I was doing about 22 damage before, and I did 58 to this beetle. I might try a couple battles. Oops. We have healing tiles right here, so this is kind of like a pretty good setup, because you have the healing tiles and you can keep fighting these fights. Eagles give you a lot of XP and gold, and I might as well do the beetles too. And this is what it looks like when we do the reset. So we're still at level 9. We're still the same, you know, we still fought those enemies. So you see we have 1,836 gold. 1,836 gold. And we just keep going back and refighting this fight. We'll fight it just for a short time. Do a couple more. See, it's not a great percentage for drops, especially of bosses. Bosses can drop Some pretty good items, but the chance is so low that it's just not worth grinding and you know, resetting. So and this is what an IP attack looks like. I'll grind to, let's see, what am I, level 10? Let's say level 11? As you can see, like, why the reset is kind of so good. The reset skill is so good where you can keep resetting these enemies, because normally you'd have to do something like exit the dungeon or go to another floor is how you could reset them. Again, like I said, we do this because we have these tiles right here. Makes things really easy to do. Alright, last one. If it happens, great. If not, it's okay. Nope. Alright. We will call that there. Was trying to I'm sorry. Trying to grind. Alright. So now this one, we have to drop through this button, or that hole. And it will end up dropping, putting enough weight on that button to open this door. Okay, so we'll save. So first off, we have to go here. And eagles are just a really good source of XP right now. Got a nice power potion. Alright, so that one dropped a rapier. We'll go this way first. Now this room, sometimes these tiles, they tell you things, so behind this wall lies the path to the ordeal that awaits you. Miracles are really good. They do a full they're this game's version of like an elixir, but what they do is they restore your fight power, and fight power just means if you are dead or get KO'd, and they completely restore your MP and HP. They're pretty rare unless you grind for them, or so you want to hold on to them as much as possible. That one we got an antidote. So getting Eel Rock actually would be really, really, really beneficial. For this upcoming boss. Alright, so we do this long ordeal of fighting. So you get the Speedy Ring, which is a really good ring. It raises agility. And it could actually cast the spell Fake, which increases agility more so in battle. Very, very, very good ring. Alright, so because the Eagle Rock is very important right now, I'm going to grind for it a little bit in that one spot. After I do this, so we move this. Now, this will tell you have to create a triangle pointing upward. And that's the way the puzzle works to open the door. So we just do this. And there we go. So the puzzles in this game start off very slow, or very easy, but they definitely pick up. There are some very hard, challenging puzzles later on in the game. And we found the lake key. All blue chests have a special item. So either, in this case, it's the key to this dungeon, but we do find other skill items in the world, or in the in dungeons as well, and they'll be in blue chests. Dragon eggs can fill up blue chests when they get sent around the world. Alright, so we're gonna go back up to the top. Back to the room that had the healing tiles, and we're just going to grind a little bit for it. Yeah, we're very over leveled right now because of free try mode. So it's not too bad, but you know, things like dive, that's a pretty strong move. It's nothing to sneeze at. 14 damage. There we go. Got an Eagle Rock. Beautiful. So an Eagle Rock, as you can see, not only does it boost our stats pretty good, agility as well, does twice as powerful as a normal attack. Very good. Oops, let me just heal up, and then we'll move on with the dungeon. And as you can see, the power of the IP attacks, when I was doing bomb attack, there was barely any percentage coming out. There are some that take all 100%. We'll just do this one for fun. See, we could have got another one. No big deal. Alright, so similar to what we were just talking about with puzzles, you would think, oh, you don't need that extra one. Well, the way we have to do this, something like that. Now we use the link key, and here we go. This is the catfish. It's our first kind of real-ish boss. Although you can very much die from the very first boss, the Lizard Man. He is pretty tough normally if you don't if you just kind of attack him normally rather than buying the boomerangs. Boomerangs are a very strong item this early in the game. Alright, so we're going to use dive. Yeah, that's really good. And, you know, you can see that used 50% of my IP. So. Oh, okay. So I'm going to pause it here because that is a super rare drop. That's the Catfish Jewel. This is the only monster you can get this from, or the only monster that would drop it. It's really, really rare. It's not worth resetting over, but that's something you can do. Is you can save, come down here, fight this boss. If he doesn't drop it, reset, you know, and keep trying again. Reload that save. But that's crazy. Whew. Just the fact of how rare that of a drop that is. I think it's like a 5% drop. Stats aren't that great. It's more of a magic based. Causes a huge earthquake, and big earthquake damages all enemies. This part's funny, so when we hit the switch to get back out, there's just a random bridge just kind of hanging out there. Okay. So we find out that someone came looking for us. So we need to go back to the cave. Need to do this puzzle again, because even though someone came in here just a few moments ago, apparently they reset the puzzle, because that makes sense. And then we'll find the person in this cave up here, or this room up here, being chased by monsters that don't belong in this dungeon either. These also are just boomerangs, can be used. They have a much lower HP than they do later on in the game when we find them. Yeah, this would be great. Alright. So now we have Tia. Alright, so Tia, now each new party member starts at a set level, so no matter what level we're at, that's what they don't match our level. So you can see Tia is pretty weak. In this game, you can't move a party member, so there's 2 front row characters, 2 back row characters, and the damage does matter, both from enemies and what you give and receive. But you can't actually put someone in the back row until you have enough members. So right now we just have 2 front row members. Once we get a third party member, we can put Tia in the back row, but she is definitely a liability at the moment until we start raising her a bit. She can, I'll give her the battle knife for now, but she's not going to do much attacking. She has good magic. As you can see, her intelligence, Maxim is 7 levels higher, and her intelligence is 1 above his already. And she has good magic defense, so she's going to be our magic user. Spell. She has strong, spark, and drowsy. Okay. Actually, I should fight some battles just to level her up a bit. Yeah. So you can see the difference. She'll level up quickly, though. So it won't be too bad. We are going to be getting a friend very soon, which will help us as well. Alright, so I'm going to go get our friend first and then come back here. Actually, no. I'll go to the other place first. just want to see spells. Alright, so that's water. She needs that. I'm going to do that later, where I get everyone magic, but Maxim stays with us the entire game, so I can do that at any time for him. Go to the inn really quick. So this guy will tell you about capsule monsters and tell you to kind of keep a lookout for them. Save. Alright, so now that we can pass through freely, and we're going to take a detour down here. And this funny looking tree. And this is Fumi Woods. Make sure to answer yes. And this is our very first capsule monster. You actually don't have to pick any of them up. They're just non-playable characters that help you out. I'll leave him, or I usually just call him Fumi, even though that's the type he is, but we'll just leave the precon names. So if you come down here to Capsule, you will see that his name is Gels. He's class 1. He's a neutral alignment, and the tribe is just what monster type he is, and he has Fumi Punch as a special. He has all you can see all his stats. He gains levels as well, or it gains levels. You can change. Now there's 6 more, so there's 7 total. Each one has its own alignment, its own, or an element. You can change their name, and feeding them is very important. Ooh, sorry about that. Thought I had a sneeze. So you can see too. Now he is the middle, so he's neutral, and you can see around the ring to the lower left that's kind of glowing. It's hard to tell, hard to see, but you see wind, water, dark, soil, fire, and light. Those are the ones that are left to find. Now feeding is important, and we'll get to that very, very, very shortly when we get to the next town. You have to feed them items to grow that bar. Once that bar is fully filled up, they transform into their next stage. Different items have different effects. If you feed a long knife, if you have that item for him, it will raise 3 bars. After that, it will raise 1. You can, depending on how expensive or depending on how thrifty you are with the items that you buy, with how expensive feeding can be, all depends on how much you want to spend. If you care to buy the cheapest item for that stage, that will give you the most bang kind of for your buck, because there are other levels as well. in terms of there's different items you could feed to lower levels that give more than just one growth. There's one that says like it, that's one growth stat or one growth bar. There's yummy, that's 2. There's yummy yummy, that is 4, and then incredible is 8. So sometimes after you feed a capsule monster something at once, it will then change to a random item. Sometimes that item might be a one-of-a-kind item. Sometimes it might be something that, even though it's asking for it, is a lower item and it will not eat it. So that just comes with playing the game and kind of practicing, knowing trial and error as well on what monsters like, at which stage. And going from there. In retry mode, it's not really that big of a deal because you're just giving whatever you can at the moment. So we'll go to Alun's. So Alun's Kingdom. Go to shop. We go to weapons. There's mace. There's a long sword, which is really good. Now these two don't have any IP. They're just strong weapons. And then there's a short sword that is for an ice attack. So we're going to buy. So as you can see, the long knife is we'll buy one of these. Actually, we'll buy for that. Sure. So if we go to capsule, how he wants a long knife. So if you give him the item he wants is a 3, which is great. Now he wants a holy robe, which is a very important item. It's one of a kind item. But instead, I'll just give him another long knife. And now he wants a royal dress. So it takes 32. Let's see. Yep, 32 bars. So we're down to opponent range are 20. Yeah, okay. Could have bought some better armor. That's okay. If you go to the inn, I'll show it off by the way. You can go up here and there's a little mini casino. You can play the slot machine. You have to buy coins, and you can only use items or buy items from coins with coins. This is actually a really good ability. Miracle restores fight power. It says what a miracle item does, but it's very weak. The zap charm, it causes thunder damage, and the flame charm deals flame damage. I think it's a one-time use thing. There is a bigger casino much later on in the game that we will be just grinding and buying coins from. Okay. Alright. So here we go see the king. Hmm. These guys are the comedic relief of the game. You know, because they just forget the crown that they were trying to steal. So nobody could leave until that's found. Alright, so if we come out here, we're on top of the castle. Go this way. And down to the basement. And now we're in the castle basement. He tried. One thing with the capsule monsters is you can't control them, obviously, and it could be very frustrating when they're not using their special attacks, which do much more damage. And these are horses, so some enemies will follow you, as you see like this horse did once you're in their line of sight. You can get a horse rock to drop. It's really, 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 really good. We didn't. I'm not going to bother necessarily grinding at the moment. I might afterwards, just because I'm going to grind quite a bit. Money. Nice. And like I said, blue chest, we find the bomb skill. So we switch. Now the bomb skill, you drop a bomb and it's any type of movement. You could swing your sword or you could actually walk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 6th step, sword swing or a combination of both, the bomb will burst. This item, there will be backtracking later. You need a certain skill to get across that we don't have yet, so we'll just kind of keep that in mind. So we have to come here, deal with this horse. And drop this button. Now this also opened up as well, so we can get this chest for a headband. I'll end up selling a lot of items. I think Spark is the good one for them. Yeah. And that's his special, Fumi Punch. Very nice. And like most games, when you multi-target a spell, oops, wrong way. You multi-target a spell, it does less damage because it's spread out. Same thing with heals. If you cast strong just on one character, it does a lot more healing than if you do it on multiple. And now we're into bats, where it's the upper, we used to just fight regular bats, now they're big bats. So you'll eventually see that enemies kind of repeat themselves, but they're not always the same enemies that they were. They are kind of upgraded versions of those enemies. Oops. Gonna escape. I did forget. Yeah, there's something over here. Okay, yeah, that's just a save. Got it. Again, these don't give too much experience. But 400 is 400. Trying not to use, like, I could use the boomerang to finish them all off, but we don't want to necessarily use those all the time because they cost skill. Alright, now this puzzle room. Could be pretty, in my opinion, the first somewhat difficult puzzle. You have to line up 3 of the same colors. So that's what it tells you. So kind of look at it and go, oh, well, that's easy enough, right? Boom, that's 1 done. You look, there's 3 gold or yellow. There's 5 purple, 5 red. Well, if you look, 2 of the same color don't do anything. So it's 3 or more. But once you put 3 together, they automatically disappear. So the way we do this is you have to do something like this. So we get this first. Coat is pretty nice. It restores 50. So when it says 50 of max HP, they weren't able to use a percentage for some reason in the IP descriptions, but that's what it is. It's 50% of max HP. These are pretty tough enemy as well, the buffalo. And they're an enemy that, if they see you, will chase you around the room. Cloth helmet's nice, cool, nice job. Since he doesn't have a helmet, sure. This is another puzzle. Alright, so all these rooms have something, some sort of puzzle to them. Can probably run. Yep. And sometimes that happens where a capsule monster will just sit there and defend for their turn. Just wasting their turn. Not a fun time. And then you have these guys who move whenever you move, but if you can manipulate them by just swinging your sword and standing in place, it's pretty easy. But you have to kill all of them to then come this way. Oops, and that was the wrong way to go at the start. No big deal. Alright, this is a tricky puzzle. And whenever we pick up this box, we get trapped in here, but the bridge opens up for us. So with these boxes, one thing you can do, set a bomb and blow them up. And we get our first dragon egg. So this is the little puzzle. Now we can go the way to the left. The spikes are down. So I can just go back to putting the pot on this bubble or button, but we have other things to get. Okay, sorry about that. Alright. first thing we're going to do is get this treasure chest. Now, this is a secret fruit. There are different fruits in the game, and it's just food for capsule monster, is what it says. But what it actually does is that fruit. So each capsule monster, other than Fumi, or other than Gels, which is neutral alignment, each one has its own elemental or special alignment. They're fruits, so in this case, the next one we pick up is the fire one. So in order to get him to the fire capsule monster, in order to get him to his M status, which is the top status, you need to feed him a breeze fruit. So it's the opposite element of what they are, is the fruit that you need. And you need to feed them at a certain tier. So it'll be 4 or lower. Once you feed them the M, that's where they stay. You can feed them a fruit again to revert them back to one of the 4 tiers, if that's what you like. But for this purpose, once we change them to their top tier, we'll keep them there. And in order to do that, you have to get them to you have to finish the top tier. So certain ones you can feed a fruit at level 2 to get to their M tier. But even though you can do it at level 2 or class 2, you still need to get them all the way to 4 and then before you can actually change them to their top tier. But that secret fruit is for Fumi for later on. It gets a little confusing, but I will definitely explain it much better when that time comes. And we get another miracle. Okay. This one's a pain, always a pain. There we go. You just kind of have to take the long way around and the horse gets stuck, and then you just go and defeat him. Or go up to him and then he'll kind of gravitate towards you. And that drops this for a light knife. Okay, then we go back to this one. I forgot to put it on. Give it to her again, but that's okay. Nice. It's always nice when, like, the capsule monster is actually smart and hits what they're supposed to, but doesn't happen often. The light knife is what we got from that chest, and it does light attacks. There are dark monsters in this game. Which that is nice to have against them. There are hard enemies in this game as well, which non-elemental weapons will do much better because there's a thing called hard type. This part makes no sense on why the buttons would be on the same side, but And yeah. And then we walk down here. And go back up. Hey, and there's the crown. Which somehow the crown didn't go anywhere, but they got swept completely away. Again, makes sense, right? Alright. So we can use an escape. I don't want to, again, because I'm going to grind a little bit. We need the money, and we could be done with this, but we definitely want to do the horse enemies again, at least, as they give good XP and gold. Okay. In order to get back out this way, we need to stop that buffalo. And as you can see, he jumps quite a few tiles when he comes after us, and he'll follow us throughout the entire room until he gets a line of sight on us. Got all those treasure chests. Just kind of doing this also for potentially another eagle rock or a horse rock. I think these can drop bat rocks, if I'm not mistaken. Like the big bats, though. Okay, so we're out of here. Alright, now he would like to reward us. So if we ask for money, he'll give us 2,000 gold. If we ask for the princess, he'll give us 500 gold. If we ask to be king, he'll give us 1,000 gold. If we ask for nothing, he admires our generosity and actually rewards us with the best reward with 3,000 gold pieces. You do get funny dialogue though if you ask for anything else. Alright, so what we're going to do now, before we head over here. So if you go back to Alun's, and I'm going to do this because I'm going to start selling some stuff. If you sell an item, much later on in the game, there is a town that has every item you've ever sold where you can buy it back. Now, if say I sell one fry pan, they will only have one fry pan. You can only buy the one. But once you sell it, it then returns to their inventory. But I'm just going to clear some room. These are all pretty cheap things at the moment. I'm going to buy a couple boomerangs just in case. Let's do 12. Now we have high potions, so we can be buying 2. High potions are pretty good, but we're going to worry more about our capsule monster. So if you come here, a long knife is 800 gil, or gold. And that is currently the cheapest to give a 1 tick to our capsule monster. That's a lot of gil. So after the initial 3, or the one to give him the 3, because of what he actually wants, then you need to do 29 more, which is a lot of gold. Which is 23,000 to be precise. And that's just for tier 2. Now, if we come, I think, is it here? So that one costs 1,000. So for 1,000, you get a yummy, which is 2 ticks. So for an extra 800, or for an extra 200, you actually get an extra tick. So it's much more cost efficient to buy these, the apple ciders. Now also, let me just count how many more I need. So I need 9 more. So this is much more efficient. And we can actually, using this method, not only is it more cost efficient, whenever a item for a previous tier, so in this case the longsword, is just a single tick, the next class up won't take that item at all. They will say it's they say something, I forget what it is, actually says, but it says yuck, and they'll eat it, but they won't actually raise a tick at all. When you have something that, like in this case, the apple cider, which is yummy, which means the next class, which in this case will be class 2, you can give them that same item again, and it will only be a 1 tick, but you can then, in this case, grind out to buy 32 of these, to then get in this case, gels to the 3rd class. If you see, right now they have the same special, Fumi Punch, but as you use your capsule monsters in battle, eventually they will learn new special attacks. When that happens, it's a very big kind of random spectrum. But if you look, so at his lowest form, or his first class, he has 103 HP at level 14. If we jump up to level 2, he has 121. 52 attack power, 73. So all the stats increase at the same level as you raise the class. Now I'm going to grind a bit. I'm going to go back over here because we need to get 32,000 gold. Or we don't need to, I would like to. Before we move on. We have another dungeon that we're going to be doing because the kid from the shrine likes to take it, takes the key, and if we ask this kid, we don't actually have to come here first, but it's just some dialogue that's nice. Basically, we find out that the kid took the key as a part of his treasure hunting game, and because he thought it would be a good idea, he's a kid. And when he got into here, this dungeon, one of the enemies scared him, and he threw the key at him, and the enemy took the key and ran away. So now we have to go find it. Alright, so Fumi's good right now. I'm going to do this dungeon. I'm not going to grind. At the moment. 17, 15. I'll just move through here. What I might do is we'll see how we are after this dungeon. Alright. So, this dungeon is a little tricky also. Some hidden stuff going on with it. You don't actually need to go to the shrine first. As part of that dialogue, you can just come here right away and you'll still get that scene, and we get to go search for the key. You might see me kind of end up backtracking a little bit and get lost. I tend to do that in this this dungeon especially, but mostly because I'm trying to, again, make sure I get all the chests now. That's just kind of my brain, how it works, rather than kind of deal with it, come back later to get all the chests and go searching and stuff. Make sure I got it. Here we have a new enemy. These are the Mega Moths. Boomerangs are, I believe, wind elements. So that's why you kind of see them doing so much to certain enemies. Again, elements are a big thing. To come here yet. They have a very they could use, I didn't get a chance to, but they have a very annoying attack called Flat Flap Dance, and that causes confusion, and if Maxim gets confused, that could be a big problem. That's a little secret chest here to get a light armor. Pretty nice, unfreezes magic of all party members. Good defense. And oops, I sped through it too quickly, but Fumi or Gels learned Headbutt, and again, it's very random with the amount of XP and level and how much often you use them, but Headbutt is a very, very strong attack. Here we'll learn that, oops, look, there's stairs, and then it's gone. Stairs and gone. So if we put the pot there, stairs stay. And we can go around back where we initially were. Go fight these enemies because we're gonna need the gil or gold for it. Cut this vine. You can kind of see the path in the back of it. You get a miracle. We get a brave. Brave increases gut. Gut. I want to be specific of what the attributes do, so I don't misspeak. Okay. Guts raises. So, gut is how fast your IP bar grows, and basically it'll let you um, use your IP attacks more often. So if Maxim took 5 damage with 103 gut, he'll gain more percentage than Tia taking 3 damage at 80 gut. That's a simplified way to explain it. Capsule Monster's gut. Which Fumi has 103 also. For them, what it does is if they get hit or they get attacked, it's the chance of them running, because they can't run from the battle. Higher gut means they pretty much will stay the whole time, even if they're a few hit points away from death. Low gut, and there is one capsule monster that has very low gut, means that they pretty much skedaddle at the drop of a hat. So if they get attacked once, they have a high chance of running. I'll go over stats actually now, just because I have it open. Alright, HP and MP are self-explanatory. Your strength, the higher the number, the more damage that you can cause unless you take. And it also can be, it kind of gets split up into, again, attack power, defense power. Agility is self-explanatory, how fast you are. So the higher intelligence is exactly what it sounds like, how much magic damage you can do. The higher intelligence you have, it has a small effect on the growth of your MP during level ups, but it's very insignificant. But some IP attacks are magic based, and those being used by someone with high intelligence will deal more damage or heal more or whatever have you. The MGR is your magic resistance. So a person with high MGR will be damaged less by spells. As opposed to someone who has 83. So Tia has very strong magic defense, Maxim not so much at the moment. Okay. Alright, so here we could do a little trick, but I'll show you after. This is a very annoying puzzle. It's not hard. It's not difficult, but it's just annoying. Nice. Nice hit. Where are you? There's a new enemy. It's our crab. They're weak to fire, so you can cast a spark on them and pretty much wipe them out. They drop high potions, which is really nice. Now this... Later on when you come back here, if you need to do this, it's really nice because you can break these with a different skill. But for now, we cannot. So what we have to do is blow these up. Oops. These bushes with bombs. And it's very, very, very tedious because they regenerate as you walk, so as you can see. So if you cut them, 1, 2, on the third step they regenerate. If we push the button, we need to push this block up. So this one won't regenerate, which is nice, the one on the button. I'm trying to think, so we need... Okay, there we go. Alright. Now, a cool little trick we can do, instead of walking all the way around, is if you stand in the middle, click the switch, oh, and we drop. Oops. So that's a little shortcut. And we're on the other side. This is the jet helmet. This is, yep. Use much later. Sluggish is really good. It reduces enemy speed, and we'll have a enemy later where that's very important to do multiple times too. Alright, now in order to get this item here, got a secret passage here, which is a witch ring. Raises intellect, and deflect freezes magic enemies magic, which is pretty good. Not the best in terms of usefulness, but what I'm actually going to do though is something that I didn't do earlier. So if you come here and you open a chest, spikes will raise. You have to defeat all these enemies. That's okay though. We got a high potion, high magic. We have to open these anyway, and I think this is a buckler or power race. There it is. And this is pretty good too. Increases your magic defense in battle. Fine. 19 is still pretty big at this juncture. Crab. Nice. One place I want to go, just very quickly, because I forgot. kind of always tend to forget to go this way first. Alright, so we'll come back here later because there's a secret passage there. And you would think that there's just 2 jars and you have to use a monster to step on this. But there's actually a hidden 3rd pot right there. That's how I remember as a kid I didn't know about the 3rd pot and ended up dragging that bat over to hit the button for me. And fall down this hole. Push this back and we get into a fight. I believe this is a horse rock. Yeah. Horse rock is pretty good. And it does 1.5 times a normal attack. I still like the catfish one just because it's a magic based, so it does bet more for her IP if I need it. The horse rock is a little bit better for attack and strength, brings my defense down, but brings my agility down 15. I don't like that. I'd rather have Maxim stay where he is. So I knew I would forget that if I didn't go get it now. Now we gotta finish the dungeon off. So in order to finish the dungeon off, we have to hit these buttons to lower this water. You can see some chests down there. Get to that in a second. Hit this other button. Nice. And we get a miracle. again. Right before our boss fight. Not sure how the goblin barricaded himself into a wall. Behind a wall, but whatever. Alright, so this enemy has 500 HP. You can't put it to sleep. Supposedly. Nice. Try one more time, but I'm not gonna go nuts over it. Alright, so you could see now he woke back up, you see him moving and stuff. So you could you can kind of manipulate that and keep drowsing and putting him to sleep so he doesn't actually get an attack, but it should be done pretty quickly. And dead. We had 2,000 gold, awesome. Everyone levels up. So we can use an escape, which I'm not going to use because there is one room I want to kind of grind in. And it's this room right here, because there's 2 sets of Megamoths. Nice. And a set of 3, I believe, gives us, yeah, like 624 gold, which is really good at this stage. And one is only 200, but that's okay, it's quick. Let's do that for now. It's easier. So the bats are, or the moths are definitely the way to go. too much more. And that's Headbutt. Glad we finally used it. Headbutt is very strong. And again, when they have like one really strong attack and unfortunately they don't use it, it's kind of frustrating. But Fumi Punch is still good too. Tia being confused is not... Oh, sleep. Okay, I thought it was confusion. That's fine. Sometimes they do wake up after a certain amount of time. Could have been, you know, one round. You can use items to wake them up. They could be hit with physical attacks to wake them up. Not too much longer. Nice. Alright. 2,000 more. That was a good one. Nice. Okay. Now we can get out of here. The good thing, like doing that grind, is it does definitely get easier as you kind of cross over. Where, granted, there's kind of lines, there's sections. So, like, we passed the shrine on the side we're coming from. The enemies are tougher than on the side we're walking to. So you can kind of use that normally if you want to like go to the next area. That's how you do it. And the gold wise starts to balance out where it's not too big of a grind for gold right now. And as you obviously get tougher enemies, you get more experience, which, you know, you could kind of out level where you're trying to gain experience from, so it kind of forces you to move on because it'll take too long to keep leveling. But like where I just was, if you get 400 experience and 400 gold, the gold is still pretty good for a lot longer. So, but anyway. And now we hit level class 3. So now he still has Fuming Punch and Headbutt, but his attack is 125 compared to 89. Defense is 100, 183 HP. Agility up. His gut is up. His magic defense is up. So Fumi is a very he's a very good, or he's a very solid all around good capsule monster. Where the problem with all the other capsule monsters, they have an element. So while they might be stronger certain times, other times even their basic attacks are that element. So if we have one of our capsule monsters is fire based and the enemy does or is strong against fire, the fire elements, no matter what attack that capsule monster does, it's going to not do very much damage to that enemy. So as you can see, Fumi Punch now is doing over 100. Alright, so I think we're going to get to Tanville. There's a funny little thing that we could actually go do the tower that we're supposed to first. Because we have to end up doing it twice anyway to get the items on the top. Which is really kind of funny. I don't think the game originally wanted you to do this, but we're gonna wait and do it anyway. The items are actually really good, but it's not worth missing out on all the XP from Guy, especially in retry mode. But now we're over here, so now there's Billy Jellies as enemies. So the enemies, you could see, took a jump in terms of power level. Again, crossing the boundary or the border. So now we're getting like 700 gold a clip. Now there's Hawks, which also drop Eagle Rocks. But they're a stronger version of Eagles. So nice. Alright, so let's do this. Let's just top us off. I don't have anything. No, okay. We can go buy stuff right now. Is there any new spells? Okay, we can buy a Gale and Flash. Those are actually really good. That covers our elements. With long knives, the wires is okay. Short sword and the kukri is the next step up, and that's a thunder based. Some pretty good armor. Re-energize is good. We already have a light armor. We'll save all that stuff for now. Chopper we'll get rid of. Okay. Let's talk to... I'm just gonna save real quick. Alright, so these are actually weak to water. Yeah, drop it. Let's switch that. So now that we have a third part, at least one extra party member, we can do this type of swap, which makes things a lot easier. Okay. Retry mode. Okay. We'll set guy up, we'll save, and then that's what we'll call it for this first episode. Oh, forgot. let's change. There we go. Alright. Short sword is fine, although kukris are better. He has the tough armor already, awesome. No shield, fine. It's just something, and let's give him the Eagle Rock as well, because this guy has very, very, very bad agility, even at higher levels, so. Alright, we're going to get some gold. We want 2 kukris. And we want to finish off the spells. For Tia. Well, Tia is faster than Maxim. There you go, Rock. Nice. So we'll get about 10,000 gold. I'll go for that. It's probably overkill, but much easier than me mathing it out. Just a good number. And there's some enemies that, as you can just see, Maxim got poisoned, that their attacks have status abilities attached to them. A little bit more. So Guy is one of 2 characters that cannot use magic. I forgot to explain that. So he has 0 MP. Even if you give him MP potions, which would give him MP, he cannot use magic. It is not it is coded in the game that he cannot use it at all. Alright, we need 2 cookeries. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna hide helmet though. What is she wearing for armor? That's fine. Okay. You know what? You know what? No. Well, I'm gonna be right back. 2 seconds, and then we're gonna do the this next dungeon. Okay, sorry about that. So, we are going to continue, and we're going to go through with the next dungeon. As you can see, guy has 198 HP, and he's already 7 levels behind Maxim. So, as well as 92 strength already. Guy is a very strong character. Not the strongest, but very strong. We are going to keep doing these fights since we are low on gold at the moment. And 1,000 XP is still really good. Alright, so this is the Tanble Southeast Tower. First things first. Scorpions are weak to water. So if we step on here, buttons come out. To press all the buttons at the same time, and just like that. I hate trying to fight scorpions or trying to get by them, as they have very matching movements to ours or to yours, but it's very it's opposite, and most of the time you have to let them get a surprise attack on you in order to actually get into a battle with them. So I try not to do that. Goblins are pretty strong. See, so most of the time it's not worth it. I always forget what they're weak to. That was good enough. Okay, so skeletons are our first look at undead enemies or dark enemies, and so fire does very good against them. Holy does very good against them. So right now you could actually cast strong on them. To do some damage, but we'll stick with Spark. Just so much MP that, like, this is fine. We have a couple nice. Okay, so tackle. Tackle is headbutt, but an AoE and stronger. That is one of the strongest attacks in the game. Go this way first. You can use these crabs. That was big damage. You can use these crabs to farm life potions early. They're not very good drop rate, but if you really want to grind, you could just constantly keep resetting this room to drop life potions, or until they drop life potions. Okay, spark is what, or fire is what they're weak against. Got it. So unfortunately, we didn't get to. I didn't get to show that off, but this puzzle, you have to push this pillar onto this point right here, and you'll see tiles open up, or nice. Okay, so this puzzle, pretty simple. You have to match. So if you hear that, that's a sword. Bomb. Oops. I forgot you have to do them in order. That was the arrow and bomb. In order to get the key. So we started this dungeon at 2,000 gold, and we're at 21, so we almost gained 20,000 gold. We haven't really been fighting like out of the way. That just tells you about the puzzle. We're going out of our way to fight. That's that's great. Great job, Fumi. Nice. Oh, so that they drop power potions. Okay. Yeah, power potions are really good. That raises your strength. So if you really wanted to just become completely attack-wise broken, yeah, you could just farm power potions here. It would take a long time, but is something you can do. Okay. Alright, here we have a little puzzle. And it'll tell you that it is currently 6:15. Door opens at 9. So as you can see, 6 o'clock. This is 15. It opens at 9. So if we move this here, get to this door, which opens the ladder outside. However, there is a secret that if it's 12 o'clock, this room opens up and you get a jute helmet. The jute helmet is really interesting as it actually has a helmet said to ward off magic. It actually prevents instant death. Which is a pretty neat thing to find out, but it's a lot of these items don't say things like that what they do. Okay. Make sure everybody's healed. Okay. The reason we bought Kukris earlier is because this boss is weak to lightning, or weak to thunder. Okay. So right now we'll just do this, that. I don't have any way of boosting my attack power yet, which would be really good, but that's okay. I'm gonna have her boost her defense first. Like that just says sleeve. That works. I'll do that just to, yeah. So we could get the Buster, Buster Jewel from him, but, which is really cool. But it's like the Catfish Jewel, it's a rare one-time drop. Now we have 52,000 gold already. Nice. So Iris saves us again. And we learn, this is the first mention of Sinistrals, which are basically this game's deities or gods. Hmm. Alright, so we're going to climb back up to the tower, get the 3 items that were left there. So they're really good items, and then I'll get to the next town and just save without doing anything else. And 1 is a very important item for the next battle. The crummy part is we gotta go all the way back through the tower. wasn't too bad, but still tedious. You gotta do the same tower twice. Fire Dagger is really good, and it's very important for the next dungeon. Throw Brace and Camu Armor. The Camu Armor is just for Guy. And it's really good. It's a HP of each party member of your party by 25% of your users' max HP. So someone like Guy, who has a lot of HP, this is a really good AoE heal for your team, especially coming from someone who can't use magic. So we put that on. He will get the Fire Dagger, which doesn't seem like too much of an improvement, but it does 3 times the normal damage for the IP attack against enemies that are vulnerable to fire. And the next boss coming up, as you might have guessed it, is vulnerable to fire. And the Pro Brace has light bulb. I'm going to leave. I don't remember what magic we get in the next town, so I might end up leaving that on. I am going to actually use one of our escapes, because it's just so much easier. So it puts us to the front, because that's the way we came in. But in order to get out of this dungeon, we literally just walk 2 rooms ahead. And here is our next town. So as you can see, I got 62k for gold. Spells. Bravery, okay. So bravery increases defense during battle. Very, very, very good. And now I have escape. Magic. Stat boosting spells in this game are actually very good. Release removes paralysis, and then escape is self-explanatory. So we're good with magic. Shop. I need to sell some stuff real quick. So now there's big boomers, which I'm gonna buy about 20 of. They take the place of the boomerangs, which are nice. I don't need a small knife anymore. Battle knife I don't need. Side of kukris. Long swords I'll save, so one of these. Just selling stuff that I probably won't need and clear some inventory space. Because getting all the chests, your inventory piles up very quickly. These I'll sell. Keep those for now. Light armor, baggy. About that for sure. What did I take off her? Oh, the headband. It's fine. Yeah, we have high potions. These actually do like 5 health, HP and MP. Alright, so So let me save, and we're going to end it here. Alright, so that was a pretty good first video. I think we did quite a bit. So we're going to end it here. I want to thank everyone who watches these videos, who likes, subscribes, comments. Everything is greatly appreciated. And for all the support. And come on down to my Twitch channel, which is, as always, located in the description, a link, where I am normally on Sunday through Friday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 o'clock a.m., where we usually do walkthroughs, playthroughs, a couple of different things. So if you like what you see, please come and check it out. Alright, hope to see you in the next video.